I think Cygnet Bay has a way of kind of surprising people, and I think they really appreciate that. I think people really like stumbling across things that are real.
Location-wise, we're probably in one of the most beautiful spots in the world, and still pretty much untouched out here. Being in the peninsula and always connected to country. I'm back home, so I'm definitely living the dream.
Come on, fellas.
So Cygnet Bay is a pearl farm. It's actually the original entirely Australian-owned and operated cultured pearling company. My grandfather started working with Terry's great-grandfather when he first came up this way, and he was one of the elders from the area that they got on with really well, and we've all been working together ever since. So I've lived at Cygnet Bay for the majority of my life. My mum and dad came up and joined the family business, and my sister and I came along a decade or so later. The whole thing was about creating a sustainable community, and they really achieved that. To be honest, I sort of thought that this is the way Australia was, that most of it was Aboriginal people and there's a few white people, and it was a bit of a shock when I went to boarding school and found out that that wasn't like that. When you grow up in the Kimberleys, it's a long way from everywhere.
So the community were a very close-knit community, being so remote. James pretty much grew up at my place, My mother would always have to chase him away late in the afternoon when the sun going down. But James would always want to stick around and just wait for that damper. Yeah, take his piece of damper and he'll head home.
It was amazing, amazing. Oh, it's the best bread I've ever eaten.
The whole pearl farm was basically our playground, so just getting into mischief. It was James more leading me. He'd probably say otherwise, but that's the way it was.
Yeah.
Going to school here at Cygnet Bay was the best memories I have. I was always distracted though, so just out the window we could see that salt water straight out there.
It wasn't a huge amount of learning going on, but we had a fat time. Yeah, it's freedom. Yeah, there's no doubt. Literally just roaming around with a spear and camping out in the bush is absolute freedom. My focus for Cygnet Bay, I suppose I hope that Cygnet Bay remains a viable place. At the end of the day, it's still a business, and like every business, it's tough to keep going constantly. My hope for the pearling industry is that it can actually survive an ever-changing climate. There's some pretty tough things going on already. That's probably the industry's greatest challenge moving forward. By opening up the farm and actually having guests come in and experience these things with us, like the staircase to the moon and the Waterfall Reef and all the other things that we take for granted on a day-to-day basis, it makes you realise that how lucky you are. Yeah, the whole Dampier Peninsula is very different to anywhere else in Western Australia and Australia. I mean, it's got this way of demanding your attention. That strips people back, and it's like it gets rid of all the distractions and all the rest of it, and suddenly you kind of like, you're just within yourself, and you get an absolute sense of just how powerful the place is, and everyone picks that up.
I've been to many different cities, and everyone's always in that fast pace, always either on their phone or constantly moving. Whereas out here, it's all about healing when you're coming out to these remote places. And when I'm out with guests, I could feel that the inner feeling is just lifted. I am a very, very happy man. Very grateful because I got to travel the world and to be back home in a place that I love. Yeah, living the dream.
Look, I think I'm honoured to be able to live the way I live. I get to see a huge part of the world these days. There's certainly nowhere else I've ever been that I've ever had a sense of home. It doesn't matter where you are for work or in life, as long as you've got that sense of home, I don't think that ever changes.